Faith of Daniel. Faith that stands, prays, and prevails. What do you do when faith becomes costly? What do you do when standing for God could cost your position, your comfort, even your life? Today, we look at the faith of Daniel, a faith that stood firm in hostile territory, prayed without fear, and trusted God no matter the outcome. Daniel's faith reminds us, obedience to God is never wasted. Faith that refused compromise. Daniel was taken captive into Babylon, surrounded by pressure to conform. But he made a decision before temptation came. Daniel 1 verse 8. Daniel purposed in his heart that he would not defile himself. Faith lesson. Faith is decided in advance. If you settle obedience beforehand, compromise loses its power. Faith that prays in crisis. When the king demanded the impossible and death loomed, Daniel didn't panic. He prayed, Daniel 2 verse 18, that they might seek mercies from the God of heaven. God answered with revelation. Faith lesson. Faith doesn't run to fear. It runs to prayer. Prayer turns impossible situations into divine encounters. Faith that stands in the fire. When Nebuchadnezzar acknowledged God's power, Daniel didn't steal the glory. Daniel 2 verse 47. Truly, your God is the God of gods. Faith lesson. Faith always points people back to God. Your breakthrough is not for applause, it's for testimony. Faith that prays despite persecution. A law was passed to silence prayer. Daniel knew it, but he still prayed. Daniel 6 verse 10. He knelt down and prayed and gave thanks before his God. Daniel was thrown into the lion's den. Daniel 6 verse 22. My God sent his angel and shut the lions' mouths. Faith lesson. Faith chooses prayer over preservation. What threatens you cannot harm you when God is present. Faith that trusts God's sovereignty. Daniel trusted God not just for rescue, but for purpose. Daniel 6 verse 26. He delivers and rescues. He works signs and wonders. Faith lesson. Faith knows God rules over kings, systems, and seasons. No empire is greater than the kingdom of God. Daniel's faith shows us you can live holy in an unholy world. You can pray boldly in dangerous times. You can trust God even when outcomes are uncertain. Faith that stands will always see God stand with it. The same God who stood with Daniel in the lion's den is standing with you right now. When you refuse to bow, God will rise up and defend your faith in ways only He can. Your obedience today is setting the stage for God's glory to be revealed tomorrow. If God shut the mouths of lions, He can silence every voice rising against your destiny. Stand firm in faith. What looks like a den today will become your testimony tomorrow. Heaven always responds when believers choose obedience over compromise. Your faithfulness in secret will be defended by God in public. When you trust God without fear, He releases supernatural protection and favor over your life. Type in the comments, I will stand for God. Share this with someone who is under pressure to compromise their faith. God will honor their stand.